Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're mapping out the modern sports economy. And trust me, it's way more than just a game. It's this massive, tangled system of global brands and billion-dollar deals, and we are going to unpack it layer by layer.
So let's kick things off with a real head-scratcher. You look at a team like the Dallas Cowboys, right? They're valued at over $9 billion, but their actual profit each year? It's just a tiny sliver of that. On paper, that just doesn't make sense. So what on earth are investors really buying?
You see, the answer isn't buried in some spreadsheet for a single team. To really get it, you need to see the whole sports world as this complex, four-layered economic system. It's a map that connects the action on the field all the way up to the global flow of money and power. Okay, let's dive in.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the business of a single team. Then we'll zoom out to the global media machine. After that, the billion-dollar ownership game. We'll touch on sports, power, and culture, and then finally, we'll put it all together to see the whole integrated economy.
Okay, first up, let's start at the very foundation. We're calling this the micro layer. This is where we look at any sports team just like a standalone business. It's got things to sell, customers, and a whole lot of costs.
So how does a team actually bring in the cash? Well, it's a mix of things you'd expect. You got the classic ticket sales, right? Money from fans in the seats. Then there's the huge checks from TV networks that want to show the games. You've also got brands paying big bucks to put their logos on jerseys, and of course all the hats and gear that fans like us buy. But, and this is a big but, running a team is unbelievably expensive. The single biggest expense by a long shot is player salaries. We're talking contracts worth tens, even hundreds of millions. Then you have to pay for all the coaches, staff, keeping the lights on in the stadium, and flying the team all over the place. The bills just pile up. So here's the key takeaway from this layer. You do the basic math. All the money coming in minus all the money going out. And what's left, the actual profit, is often pretty thin, which of course brings us right back to our original puzzle.
So if the yearly profits are so slim, why the crazy high price tags? This quote really nails it. Investors aren't just buying 1 year of profit, they're buying this incredibly rare, multifaceted asset. Think about it. It's a famous brand with a loyal following, plus valuable real estate, plus its own media channel, all rolled into one. It's something they expect to become more and more valuable over time.
Okay, let's climb up to the next layer and see how this thing gets supercharged. Welcome to the meso layer. This is where the real money starts to multiply, and a local game gets turned into a piece of global entertainment.
It's really like a four-step assembly line for content. Step 1, the team or the league creates the actual product, the game. Step 2, they sell the exclusive rights to show that game. Step 3, a broadcaster like ESPN or a streamer like Amazon packages it all up. And Step 4, you, the fan, pay to watch it, which pumps money back into the whole system and starts the cycle all over again. And the value of those media rights is just mind-blowing. I mean, look at this. Amazon is paying more than $1 billion a year for just one night of football a week. Why? It's simple. In a world where we can watch anything, anytime, live sports are one of the last things that can command a massive, captive audience in real time. So this has created this epic battleground. On one side, you have the old guard, traditional TV, who are desperately trying to hold on to viewers as people cut the cord. And on the other side, you've got the tech giants, Amazon, Apple, who need that can't-miss sports content to make sure you stay subscribed to their platforms. Which brings us to a huge question. Who actually has the kind of deep pockets to play in this multi-billion-dollar arena? Well, that takes us up to the macro layer. This is the world of high finance, global capital, and a whole new breed of team owner. You know, it wasn't always like this. Owning a team used to be kind of a passion project for some local rich guy. Not anymore. Today, sports teams are seen as a serious financial asset class, right up there with real estate or energy. Why? Because they have predictable revenue, they're rare, and they have an incredibly loyal customer base. And this shift has brought a totally new type of owner into the game. You've got these massive private equity firms looking for stable, long-term growth. You have sovereign wealth funds, basically countries, using sports to build their brand on the world stage. And then you've got the media and tech companies themselves buying in to control the whole pipeline. All this sophisticated money creates this powerful self-fueling loop. Some people call it a capital flywheel. Here's how it works. Big investment comes in, which funds better stadiums and tech. That creates a better fan experience, which makes the media rights even more valuable. That in turn drives team valuations way up, which, you guessed it, attracts even more investment. And the wheel just keeps on spinning. Okay,
For our last stop, let's pull back and get the really big picture. We're zooming all the way out to the highest level, the meta layer. This is where we stop asking about money and start asking why any of this matters. It's about culture, technology, and power.
Yeah, this layer isn't on any balance sheet. It's all about influence. It's the system that explains how a simple game can become a symbol of national pride, a platform for huge social conversations, and even a force that pushes technology forward.
And here's the absolute core idea that drives this entire economy. The most valuable, scarcest resource in the world today isn't oil, it isn't gold, it's human attention. When a company like Apple buys sports rights, they're not just buying a TV show. They are buying a guaranteed pipeline directly into the heads and hearts of millions of people.
So let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Let's see how these 4 layers connect to create one massive integrated system.
Probably the best way to think about the whole thing is like a giant energy converter. It all starts with the raw emotional energy of us, the fans, down at the micro level. That gets converted into attention energy for the media companies. That attention then attracts capital energy from big investors. And all of that, together, creates cultural energy, real influence at the very top.
And you've got these 3 invisible currents constantly flowing between the layers, holding it all together. You have the flow of capital, moving down from investors and back up from fans. You have the flow of content, moving up from one game to a global screen. And then you have the flow of culture, the meaning we all give sports, which is really what fuels the whole engine to begin with.
So when you see the whole map laid out like this, you realize how a game on a field is directly plugged into global markets, new technology, and real power. And it leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about. As this massive economic engine keeps getting bigger and bigger, who are the real winners? And what does it all mean for the fans whose passion started it all?